Many men and women in the armed services experience extremely traumatic events, which in many cases causes post-traumatic stress and may lead to drug abuse and homelessness. To better understand what some veterans go through when they return home, we served lunch at Volunteers of America and interviewed 3 recovered veterans. Here are their stories.
First off, I served from 81 to 85. Alright, so I wasn't in combat. Graduated high school, went in the Army. Spent 2 years in Germany, came back, did the rest of it at Fort Knox, Kentucky. I'm not quite sure how it is now, but back in the 80s, there was a big problem with drinking and drugging in the armed services. Like a lot of young guys when in the service, I developed a problem with drinking. And that kind of impacted my life for the next 8 years. And in '93, I got a second-degree murder conviction. Spent the next 20 years in prison. October 15th of 2013, I was released on parole, and I paroled directly to this program. So for my situation, this has actually been a lifesaver. Alright, because it's kept me off the street. I've been sober now 21 years. I'm the VHP housing unit president, which means I'm the liaison between population and staff. I run a Tuesday and Saturday AA meeting for the guys that are trying to get sober. You know, this basically gave me an opportunity to be in a safe environment away from drugs and alcohol and criminal influences, and to get my act together, get the things I need, save a little bit of money. You know, the big thing about the program, I think, is probably it builds self-esteem. Alright, it treats you like a person. I have, until I got out of the joint, I've never been homeless in my life. But a lot of these guys up here have. And that kind of stuff will tear you down. Homelessness, being out of work, doing time, it messes with your ego, it messes with your self-image. And, you know, for somebody to move along, you've got to have self-esteem. If you don't believe in yourself, ain't nobody else going to.
I was a Gulf War vet, so I served back from 89 to 94 in the Air Force. I flew in the back of aircraft, doing satellite communications, teletype. I flew for Commander-in-Chief Atlantic Forces, as well as the Commander-in-Chief Colin Powell of all the forces, so Joint Chiefs of Staff. So those are 2 airframes I flew on, had a blast, saw the world, you know, as far as that goes. Things that led me to be here. I used to self-medicate, get rid of what I call the demons. And it really is, it's like demons in your brain. But it's your own voice, you know. It's not schizophrenia, it's just, it's part of bipolar, PTSD, you know, anger, rage, and impulsivity issues. There's nothing like hearing any kind of equipment or stuff coming in and blowing up, you know, Scud missiles.
Yeah. Kind of messes with your mind and stuff.
And it's just, you don't forget that noise.
Right.
Or walking around in your mop gear, 100-degree temperatures, because of the chemical warfare threat. That was always no fun. Through my own mental disease, missed a notification, simple notification in the mail that would have saved me a lot of money. VA kindly just decided when it was that time that they would cut me from my 100% to 20% disability because I didn't answer their request to get back, you know, with them and re-qualify. So that was a year ago. And shortly thereafter, I lost my house. Then I lost the apartment I was living in. Lost my mind. Was living in my truck for about 6 months, 7 months, till the cops come by and said, one more time knocking on my window, they're gonna throw me in jail. So I needed to find some place to. They were sick and tired of waking me up in the same spots, and try to go hide from them. But yeah, it was, so sleeping in the truck wasn't an option anymore. I was in the hospital at VA detoxing, and they got me in touch with the people here, which has allowed me to completely do a turnaround from where I was. It's allowed me to continue taking my medication on a regular basis, get things back in order, reestablish my funding, which I just found out yesterday.
William Powers. I'm here not because I'm homeless. I chose to come here. I've had PTSD since the early 70s and been in and out of prison because of it my entire life. Nobody ever said to me or, my peers, hey, you've got a problem. You're staying drunk all the time, and I was committing crimes to stay high and drunk and pay the bills. That was a big problem. And I'm, constantly in and out. Well, my daughter, my PTSD has never been treated. And July 10th of 2010, my son brutally murdered my daughter, strangled her, and then beat her so bad it was a closed casket funeral. All because he wanted to drive her to God. And she wouldn't let him. He was drunk. And of course that just crushed me. My daughter was basically the only person I really had in the world. She was definitely the only adult that loved me unconditionally. And after that, it was just downhill. I sold my own gun, and because I'm a convicted felon, they sent me to the penitentiary. I sold my gun legally, did the paperwork. If I'd have just sold it and not done the paperwork, I'd have been fined. So they decided, and this happened, and right after that, after my daughter's murder, so I ended up going back to prison, and I did 19 months there. When I came out, I get a pension from the VA. I never started it up again. I was kind of on a suicide mission. And I've got about 4 doctors writing for me. I live in Mount Pleasant. So I'm just doing drugs all day, every day. And it got pretty bad. And I went to a program out in the Thumb for PTSD, and it was a real shithole. There was no good whatsoever. Yeah, it was crazy. The guy didn't know what he was doing, and he didn't know anything about the VA, anything like that. So I left there, and I came here. And so far, it's been really, really good. And things have just compounded since then. And it's kind of lucky I found this place because, they kind of saved my life. I got my dog, Tank. I didn't want to get a dog. I didn't want the responsibility. I don't want to leave the dog worse off than he was. But, he keeps me alive. He keeps me going. He gives me a reason to get up, and he comes first so I can kind of separate from all the other shit and do what I have to do. And according to the people that run it, I'm a different person since I got here.